Roger Ebert was one of our nation's most beloved film critics. With his partner Gene Siskel, Roger took film criticism from the pages of newspapers and into our living rooms with the television show At the Movies. Throughout his life, Roger shared his love of film, not only by conveying what makes a good movie, but which films were his favorites. This is not a show about those movies. This is a show about the movies Roger loathed, the films he despised, the movies he absolutely hated. Movies like Josie and the Pussycats.
I want a Big Mac. What?
On this episode of Does This Movie Suck? Hello friends and welcome to the show. My name is Scott and this is our journey through some of the worst reviewed films of all time to see if they're really as bad as the critics thought. Right now we're working our way through the book Your Movie Sucks, which was written in 2007 by Roger Ebert. This week we're exploring the 2001 film Josie and the Pussycats, starring Rachel Lee Cook, Rosario Dawson, and Tara Reid. Just in case you're like me and you're too young to remember the Josie and the Pussycats cartoon, here's a refresher course. Josie and the Pussycats was a spin-off TV series of the Archie comics. The show was made by Hanna-Barbera Productions and lasted a whole 16 episodes from September of 1970 to January of 1971. The show was later reconceptualized as Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space. Another 16 episodes were made from September to December of 1972. Two things. First off, this movie came out in 2001, which is 30 years after the long-forgotten original premiered. I don't know who Universal was angling this movie towards, but I don't know if a lot of people were jumping at the chance to see a Josie and the Pussycats movie. And second, when I hear people complain that Hollywood is out of ideas, well, it's been happening for a while. Even in 2001, movie studios were mining what properties they could get their hands on. Hanna-Barbera has a lot, and I mean a lot of properties. Most of them are not good. So with that set up, we move to our Blurb Check. This is where we check out the pull quotes on movie boxes to see if they've been taken horribly out of context. And right there at the top of the box, "This movie rocks!" with an exclamation point. This quote comes from KMAX TV, which is a CW affiliate in Sacramento, California. Their website doesn't go back to 2001, so there's no record of this review. Since this was a broadcast review, I doubt it was ever posted on the web, but if you go to the first paragraph on the back of the box, it tells you everything you need to know. KMAX describes the movie as, and I can't believe I have to say this out loud, the perfect mix of sexy, cool comedy. Puns! But if you look at it, that sentence doesn't make any sense. Mix? What are we mixing? A sexy, cool comedy is one thing. We're not mixing sexy and cool. The film's not a perfect mix of sexy and comedy. It's a mix of sexy, cool comedy, so right now I'm confused. But having read those two quotes, I don't think they're taken out of context, and that's kind of the problem. Some critics just can't help themselves. And with that, let's dig into Josie and the Pussycats, a film with 53% on the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter. It's really not that bad. Roger Ebert gave this movie half a star, but his review doesn't really pack the venom of a half-star review. His writing tone is exasperated. He writes what happens, he writes what doesn't work, and he leaves it at that. And to a certain point, Roger's right. There's not really much to talk about here. The movie doesn't work at all. I sat there watching it trying to decide if I hated it or if I was actively despising it, but then the movie was over and I just moved on with my life. There's not much to contemplate. There's so many good movies in the world and I'm doing this project. Oh, so Josie and the Pussycats. As the film opens, we're introduced to Du Jour, a boy band played by actors Seth Green, Donald Faison, Alexander Martin, and Breckin Meyer. Their fans gather at the airport to see them off and are treated to a rendition of their hit song, Backdoor Lover. First off, Du Jour is a great name for a boy band. How is that not taken already? And secondly, Backdoor Lover is a funny name for a song, but the movie doesn't do anything with it. The song isn't clever, the band members aren't oblivious to its subtext, there's plenty of comedy to be had, but the name of the song is the entire joke. The boys get on the plane and head to the next stop on their tour when one of the guys confronts their manager Wyatt about some strange noises they hear coming from their newest remix. Wyatt is played by Alan Cumming.
Gee. You know, I've no idea what that was.
Where did it come from? I mean, why? We just want some answers.
The answers I will provide. I'll be right back.
Wyatt and the pilot seal off the cabin and parachute to safety, leaving Du Jour in the now crashing airplane. Now the movie changes gears and introduces us to a new band, the Pussycats.
It took 6 whole hours and 5 long days for all your lies to come undone.
You will hear that song a few times when watching. The lead singer is Josie, played by Rachel Lee Cook. The bassist is Val, she's played by Rosario Dawson. And the drummer is Melody, and she's played by Tara Reid. Josie is the star, Valerie's the smart one, and Melody, well, she's an idiot. Really big idiot. Like, I know it hurts when I put my fingers in the power socket, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't know any better. That type of idiot. I usually judge this type of movie on the fake drumming, and Reid isn't bad, but her character is grating and annoying in a I'm in a movie sort of way. We're also introduced to Alexandra Cabot, and Alan M, because this movie needs to intro its characters in a rock and roll montage. And now I present the best edit in the movie.
You can't see that I'm the one. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
See, the Pussycats aren't as popular as they'd like to be, and because of that, they're harassed by the town's mean girls. But that plotline really goes nowhere, but I'm showing it to you for one reason. And the reason is, these camera shots make me very uncomfortable. Every frame of these shots makes my skin crawl. And that may be the point, so kudos to the cinematographer? It's at this point we're fully introduced to Alan M. We already know he's the hottest guy in Riverdale, but he's also the acoustic starving artist type.
Josie, did I bust the carburetor? Overload the alternator.
Josie's in love with Alan, Alan loves Josie, but they just can't seem to get it together. I wonder if when the band gets popular that it'll put a strain on Alan and Josie's relationship. It will. You know it will. This should not be surprising. At this point, we're also introduced to the Cabots, who are the band's managers, but they don't do a lot of managing. Anyway, it's at this point the girls discover the untimely passing of Du Jour.
I say, we raise money for a search party and we hold a bake sale. Yes.
She's an idiot. The girls decided the best thing for them is to get a record deal so they don't end up like Du Jour. We're then treated to this montage of product placement. This entire thing is unedited, by the way. This is happening in real time in the movie. And we're done. Meanwhile, Wyatt heads into a record store. He hands up, oh wait a second, kids, back in 2001 there was this place called a record store where you'd go in and buy these things called albums, and just ask your parents. Wyatt hands the final single from Du Jour to the DJ, which causes strange things to happen to the store's clientele.
I love this song. Oh, it's their best ever. If I don't buy it, everybody's gonna hate me. Totally.
I am sick of my Reebok sweats. I need some Puma sweats. I gotta buy a 6-pack of Zima. Dude, you don't drink. I think I should start.
Wyatt meets someone that isn't taken over by the single's charm, and she's whisked away in a white van just as Wyatt gets a call.
Stop making excuses and get your ass back here with a band.
Tomorrow, I'll have a new band for you first thing in the morning, I swear.
Wyatt heads out to find a new band just as the Pussycats are crossing the street. Seeing them as the next big thing, Wyatt takes the girls to a Starbucks to get the type of delicious coffee you can only get from America's biggest coffee chain.
I speak on behalf of everyone at the label when I say that we'd love for you to sign with Mega Records.
Wyatt offers the Pussycats a record contract. After a band meeting in the Starbucks' spacious and clean restrooms, during which they only have a small worry that Wyatt hasn't heard them play, the girls decide to take the deal. The entire crew is swept away on Motorola Airlines to record their first album. Did you know that Motorola makes well-built, easy-to-use products? While Josie enjoys the refreshing mountain taste of Evian water, the girls promise to always be friends.
Friends first.
Friends first.
I swear on my bus pass.
I swear on my bus pass.
When they arrive in New York, the girls get a John Frieda makeover, which may be expensive, but is well worth the money to look good. Only available at John Frieda salons. It's at this point that the girls see their first billboard on top of the TGI Fridays America Online Movie Phone Hawaiian Tropic building. You know the one, it's next door to the Hostess Puma complex and the Dreamcast Target Tower. The girls understand the pressures that come with this.
Are you sure you should be putting that up already? I mean, we haven't even recorded anything yet. What if you don't like it? What if nobody likes it?
So armed with their new name, the girls head to the studio. Meanwhile, at the record company, we meet Fiona, who is the head of the company. She's played by Parker Posey, who's made a career out of chewing scenery, and this movie is no different. We learn that the company has been sneaking subliminal messages into their songs to make the listeners buy consumer goods. If a band gets out of line, well...
Ever wonder why so many rock stars die in plane crashes? Overdose on drugs? Our options are endless. Bankruptcy, shocking scandals, religious conversions. We've created a highly rated TV show just to explain what happens to these people.
Back at the studio, the Pussycats are introduced to the machine that makes the magic happen.
The Megasound 8000. Although the name sounds ominous, it's actually just a high-tech processor. Play a little something for me, would you? Wyatt plays the song back, and the girls experience the magic of Megasound.
It sounds so...
I want a Big Mac.
What? Mel, you're a vegetarian.
I know, but suddenly I want one. Maybe on the way back to the hotel?
Okay. As long as we can stop by Foot Locker, too.
And with this, the girls rocket to mega stardom. That's refreshing. At this point, I'd like to point out what the movie doesn't understand. Product placement and subliminal messaging are not the same thing. This movie is layered with product placement, but it's not really mentioned ever by the characters. There's no jokes involved with the abundant advertising that covers every square inch of this film. It just simply exists. The movie wants to be some huge commentary on advertising and the consumption culture, but it's conflating even the most basic of advertising concepts. If you're using product placement to make fun of product placement, you're not being clever, you're just part of the problem. So the Pussycats get super popular, which is already awkward enough for the girls, but then Wyatt gives Josie a CD of remixes. These remixes are filled with subliminal messages that tell her to ditch the rest of the band. At the same time, Josie's relationship with Alan M is falling apart. Meanwhile, Wyatt employs Carson Daly to kill Val and Melody. This movie is very 2001. Carson and his sidekick, Aries Spears, fail at killing the girls, but succeed at delivering some awkward, outdated jokes.
You know who's funny? Bill Cosby. And he's gonna kill you after stick my spoon in your pudding.
Yuck. The music turns Josie into a total prima donna. Once Josie has alienated everyone in her life, she trips, falls, and in a moment without being controlled by subliminal messaging, sees her best friends during happier times. Josie decides that there must be something in the music to make her this way, so she heads to the studio with her CD and fiddles around with a soundboard. Oh, by the way, CDs don't work this way.
There's something on here, I swear. Okay.
You should have a solo career. You could have your own primetime TV series. We could call it Josie and run it right after Will and Grace.
Oh my God, that's Mr. Movie Phone.
Josie discovers the hidden messages, confronts Wyatt and Fiona at the big concert they're throwing for the band, and a confrontation happens which ends in a very Scooby-Doo way. Which would be a pretty clever Hanna-Barbera joke if anyone remembered this property in the first place. They break the Megasound, which was wired for the concert. Josie and Alan M get together, and their fans love them without the subliminal messages. The end. Here's the thing, this is not a good movie. It tries to be clever, it tries to be a commentary on music and consumerism, but it just can't get it right. It turns into a movie encouraging consumerism, not lampooning it.
These are so good. You want one of these?
But at the end of the day, I think this is the best possible Josie and the Pussycats movie. I don't think there's a good movie to be made about this property. It's not a movie anyone was asking for, so this is probably the best version of what a Josie and the Pussycats movie might look like. But it does suck. And with that, we'll check out the Netflix effect. We'll go to DVD.com and put 5 stars into their algorithm to find out what they recommend. And let's see here. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, Easy A, and Pirate Radio. I understand the first and last one because they're music related, but Easy A, I don't know how they got there. I do like how they pointed out that Josie and the Pussycats is a goofy movie. Very goofy. And with that, we'll thankfully cross Josie and the Pussycats off the list. How about we list some of our favorite consumer products in comments? Why not? And we'll see you next time when we ask the question, oh, wait a second. Does this movie suck? Thanks for watching.
I'm a punk rock